So Colorado did just enough to beat Colorado State, um, and I want to, applaud just Shedour Sanders and his fortitude throughout the game. Um, let me go backtrack. Once again, Deion Sanders. Of course, I will always mention this. He left. He left the way he left HBCUs was rough, but what he did in this game, and this is a game they should have won. And I mentioned this before. It's only going to get tougher for Colorado. Teams are going to game plan. They're going to get more film. You got to think teams only have 3 games of film on this team. So when you look at the tendencies, look at the things that they do, how they operate, the mindset of their players, these other teams don't have that deep film that Colorado does have. Now you're going up against Oregon. This Oregon team's going to have a lot of film on you. Well, at least 3 games of film enough to catch some type of tendencies to see what players do and don't do. But Deion Sanders is ultimately a cheat code on the field. Having a Hall of Fame player who knows the game, who's cool under pressure, who can coach you immediately, some of the things that he did when he played football, it's ultimately a cheat code because he is his coaching to individual players, understanding his players, resonating with his players, and it's not something we haven't necessarily seen in college football, but we haven't seen it as much as Deion, who's a player's coach but understands the game. Um, I think that defense I thought for Colorado played well, and with Travis Hunter going down. That person, by the way, that person who hit Travis Hunter should have been immediately rejected. They should have been ejected. They should have took him out the game. The fact that he stayed in the game was just crazy to me. But Deion Sanders, his patience, his trusting his coaches, trusting his guys, coaching his players up, encouraging. That is something that you typically don't see in coaches, and it's almost like Deion Sanders is not a coach out there. It's like he's a player. These guys want to win for Deion. When they were down by 11 points, 11 points with 9 points with was it 11 or 11 points with a couple minutes left, 8 minutes left in the game. No one knows what's going to happen. That's why I want to go to Shedour Sanders. Shedour Sanders is a top quarterback. When you talk about Heisman Trophy finalists, we talk about a quarterback that was completely just kind of put in a certain prism because he was Deion Sanders' son. He's really breaking these barriers when it comes to just being a phenomenal quarterback, making the right decisions, knowing when to flood out of the pocket, knowing when to stay in the pocket. He just looked amazing towards the end of the game. I think in the beginning of the game he did well. I think that Colorado State came in with a really good game plan against their offense. Really trying to mitigate some of the things they did do downfield. But Shedour was still hitting them, hitting them. Hey, he's taking the short stuff. And when I talk about the maturation of a quarterback, and this is why I look at Shedour Sanders and say he's a good quarterback. Shedour Sanders did not get bored of throwing the short routes, throwing the short concepts, taking what the defense was giving him. He understands in the game that lulls the defense asleep. It opens things up. And then when you do that, there's like short runs. The pass rush gets tired because you're getting the ball out quick. It mitigates a lot of those things. And he did that, and it showed. And towards the end of the game, when the pass rush was tired, they didn't get to him. He was able to open some things up downfield. Hats off to the offensive coordinator. They drew some plays up for Shedour to allow him to really make some reads and find some guys open. Shedour Sanders didn't always have a great pocket. But right now, Shedour Sanders is looking like a top quarterback, and there's nothing to fabricate with it. He threw for 38, 47, 348 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Not only that, you have to score 8 points, right? You're on your own 2-yard line. And what do? You take your team down the field. Not only do you score and throw a touchdown, but you also get the 2, pass for the 2. A lot of quarterbacks can't do that, but I love the way Shedour Sanders opened up with the drive, opened up with running the ball. Hey, we understand we're going to get some type of cloud coverage, some kind of quarters coverage, some guys underneath, make him throw it short, try to kill the clock. He took the run. The first couple of runs positioned him so he can throw the ball downfield, and they realize he's eating up a lot of yardage, a lot of real estate. They said we got to switch things up. So I go on to say that because this, when you look at the playmaker on defense, Travis is gone. Who was it? It was Shiloh Sanders. But when you looked at them during certain moments, while everyone was cheering, everyone's getting hyped up, the Sanders family was completely docile, completely poised. They knew the agenda, they knew what they had to do, and they were focused. That's not typically what you see from players. So when you think about already being there, already being arrived, already have that type of mentality of like, hey, we still have time to play left, there's still work to be done, that helped a lot. And the last thing I want to talk about is just Deion and his post game interview. When the in a post game interview, the person was asking questions about Shedour, about Shiloh. He didn't just make it about him and his kids. Deion Sanders made it about the coaching staff. He made it about the team. He made it about the whole Colorado as a whole unit. And as a coach, that's what you want. It's really easy to get sucked up in only talking about your family. You know, you have a whole team out there that contributed. You have a coaching staff that put the guys in the right place to make plays. And for him to divert that, you know, into not self-consumption of himself and direct it to the team is something that I typically don't see with coaches. And was really hard. It's really hard for him to suck into that. But that is just the humbleness and humility of Deion Sanders that I haven't seen before, but I completely appreciate. The second thing, that's the main point. Colorado is a tough one next week. I think they have enough firepower. I think they needed this to go into Oregon to realize every game's not going to be a cakewalk. Oregon's going to be a tough squad, but you know you have what 50 plus transfers on your team. A lot of them are from Florida, from the South. Deion brought in some dogs with him. He brought some dogs with him. So if I'm taking a team full of guys from the South and a team full of guys from the West, I'm taking the dogs from the South. Just be honest. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Really excited. Happy Colorado got the win, and we'll see how far Deion can take this.